The original Nickelodeon Universe is located inside Minnesota's Mall of America. This park originally opened as Knott's Camp Snoopy in 1992, but it was converted into the Nickelodeon Universe in 2008, the world's first Nickelodeon-themed amusement park, and it was wildly successful. For that reason, it's no surprise that the owners of Mall of America, 555, tapped into the Nickelodeon IP yet again for the American Dream Mega Mall in New Jersey. This mall opened in October of 2019, and it included the second Nickelodeon Universe theme park. While the names are the same and the parks do have some similarities, they also have some major differences. This will be a park battle comparing the original Nickelodeon Universe in Minnesota to the new one in New Jersey, across several key categories, including roller coasters, non-coaster attractions, appearance and atmosphere, staff friendliness, food, cost, and operations. So let's start with roller coasters, and I'm going to begin by comparing the rides that are almost identical. Avatar Airbender and Timmy's Half-Pipe Havoc are both intimate half-pipes, and they give almost identical experiences. They spin, have some weightlessness, and you get some near misses with the ceiling. You also have spinning coasters at both parks. Shredder is located at the American Dream Mall, and that one is the largest and longest free spinning roller coaster in the world. While it has impressive stats better than the Fairly Odd Coaster at the Mall of America, I think these rides are pretty even. Shredder has a ton of brake runs, so the pacing of this coaster isn't very good. Meanwhile, Fairly Odd Coaster holds its speed pretty well through the layout, so I consider them to be a push. Both parks have steel coasters that give an aerial view of the park. Mall of America has the Pepsi Orange Streak, a Zaire Tivoli coaster. Meanwhile, the American Dream Mall has the Nickelodeon Slime Streak, a Chance coaster. Pepsi Orange Streak is about twice as long as Nickelodeon Slime Streak, but is a bit tamer. Slime Streak has a bit of a wilder ride as the transitions are a bit more abrupt. That being said, the longer ride experience of Pepsi Orange Streak combined with the superior visuals give that ride the advantage. I'm awarding a half point to the Mall of America version. Moving on to the Gerstlauer Eurofighters, you have SpongeBob Rock Bottom Plunge at Mall of America and TMNT Shell Raiser at American Dream. And without question, I'm giving a point to TMNT Shell Raiser. Both rides have beyond vertical drops, but TMNT Shell Raiser has way more inversions plus a launch. The last remaining coasters are Sandy's Blasting Bronco at the American Dream Mall and the Back of the Barnyard Kiddie Coaster at Mall of America. And unless you're a young child, Sandy's Blasting Bronco is the far superior attraction. Sandy's Blasting Bronco has a wicked forwards and backwards launch and 3 Immelmans that give really unique ride sensations. For that reason, I'm awarding 2 more points to the American Dream Mall. This is going to give the American Dream Mall an advantage right now, 3-2.5. Moving on to flat rides, both parks are deficient in terms of spinning rides, so there are going to be no points awarded there. Both parks have similar rides for children. Again, no points awarded there. Both parks have a Chance Unicoaster. Mall of America has Brain Surge, and American Dream has Jimmy Neutron's Atom Smasher. These Chance Unicoasters are really fun rides, but again, no points are awarded because they're identical experiences. Moving on to the bumper cars, American Dream has a really unique set of bumper cars in Invader Zim's Flip and Spin of Doom. These bumper cars are designed to spin and flip whenever you get into a collision. However, they barely operate. I think they ran for a week total. Meanwhile, the Mall of America has your standard set of bumper cars. Since those actually run, I'm going to consider these to be a push. Both parks also have frisbee rides. The American Dream Mall has Crane Prime Pandemonium, while the Mall of America is Shredder's Mutant Masher. And I'm going to give a half point to the American Dream Mall. Crane Prime Pandemonium is a far more intense ride. It has some really strong positive G's in the downswing, and this one can actually invert. So you get some excellent hang time over the top, especially because the program is controlled by the ride operator. Moving on to the drop towers, Mall of America has a rather modest-sized drop tower in Splatosphere. I believe this drop tower is only 60 or so feet tall, and it feels like a supersized version of a kid's drop tower. Meanwhile, the American Dream Mall has a full-size SNS combo tower in Skyline Scream. Skyline Scream isn't the most forceful S&S tower, but the view of New York City at the top is amazing, and it does give a much more intense ride experience than Splatosphere. For that reason, I am going to award another half point to the American Dream Mall. Last but not least, you have two other flipping rides at each park. You have the TMNT Shell Shock at the Mall of America, which is a Gerstlauer Sky Roller, and then you have Aang's Air Gliders, a Zamperla Air Race, at the American Dream Mall. And I much prefer TMNT Shell Shock. Whereas the Air Race is a bit more of a controlled experience, TMNT Shell Shock feels completely out of control with all the flipping you can do. Shell Shock does have a bit of a learning curve to it, as you need to move the wings in rhythm and shift your body at the correct times, but once you get the hang of it, the ride experience is downright crazy. For that reason, I will award a half point to the Mall of America. So right now, the Mall of America has 1 point, versus the American Dream Mall, which has 4 points. Moving on to the other rides and attractions, both parks have a ropes course. At the Mall of America, you have the Dutchman's Deck, which has a decent sized ropes course, plus it also has a zip line and a giant spiral slide. Meanwhile, at the American Dream Mall, you have the Legends of the Hidden Temple, and I'm going to give the advantage to the American Dream Mall. While Legends of the Hidden Temple doesn't have the zip line of its counterpart in the Mall of America, Legends of the Hidden Temple is included with your wristband, and it's absolutely massive. It is the largest ropes course in the world, and it's really freaky to be staring down at Sandy's Blasting Bronco and the other rides in the park. For that reason, I'm going to award a half point to the American Dream Mall. Both parks have observation rides. At the Mall of America, you have a Ferris wheel called the El Circulo del Cielo. Meanwhile, at the American Dream Mall, you have Dora's Sky Railway, a monorail. Both rides do exactly what they should, so there will be no points awarded. Now, the Mall of America has two rides that there are nothing like it at the American Dream Mall. First, you have Ghost Blasters, a Sally shooting dark ride. It's a decent dark ride, but it really gives a nice change of pace from the rest of the offerings in the park. For that reason, I will award a point to the Mall of America. Mall of America is also home to Log Chute, which is not only one of the best log flumes in the world, but it's one of the best rides in the world. I would take this over most roller coasters. Log Chute is the complete package. It has a great audio soundtrack, some really nice animatronics, and it gives a long ride with 2 great drops. I am going to award the Mall of America 2 points for Log Chute. Right now the score is in favor of American Dream. American Dream is 4.5 points, where Mall of America only has 4 right now. Let's move on to appearance and atmosphere. Mall of America looks like an outdoor park. You have trees, a huge skylight, and bright and colorful walkways. Plus, the location in the center of the mall gives it a lot of kinetic energy. It feeds off the shoppers in the mall. Meanwhile, American Dream's Nickelodeon Universe looks like a warehouse. There's only a small skylight and just a few windows, so it's really dark inside. Plus, this location is located in the corner of the mall, so it feels a bit dead over there. However, it does look great at night with all the lights. You have all these multicolored strobe lights shooting across the park, so it feels sort of like a concert. Both parks have similar theming between them, where you have good ride logos combined with some character photo opportunities. And both parks appear to be well kept. But because Mall of America's Nickelodeon Universe feels like an outdoor park and just feels a lot more lively, I am going to award 2 points to Mall of America. That is going to put that park ahead 6 to 4.5. Let's talk about friendliness. The staff at American Dream was a little bit better. In general, I found they were a bit more sociable and willing to interact with guests. For that reason, I'm going to award a half point to the American Dream, making the score 6 to 5, still in favor of the Mall of America. Let's move on to food. Neither park really sells food. At Nickelodeon Universe at the American Dream Mall, you only have a snack stand, whereas at the version in Minnesota, you have some vending machines scattered throughout the park. Because really, both parks rely on the food options in the mall. For that reason, I'm going to consider it a draw, so no points will be awarded there. Let's move on to cost. The American Dream Mall will charge for parking, roughly $20 to $30, but they will validate it for Nickelodeon Universe at $10. Meanwhile, Mall of America does not charge for parking. American Dream will charge about $55 to $60 for a pay-one-price wristband. Mall of America is roughly half that. Mall of America also offers free admission options and pay-per-ride options. American Dream does not. At American Dream, you have to buy the pay-one-price wristband or not visit the park. American Dream also used to have a clause that guests would have to pay the difference in the price if the cost of their ticket increased between the date of their purchase and date of their visit. I don't know of any other business with a clause like that, and I thought it was really unfair to the consumer. For that reason, Mall of America is getting 2 points all around because they're cheaper and offer more admission options. That makes the score 8 to 5 in favor of the Mall of America. Let's move on to the operations. Both parks have 365-day operations. That's one of the biggest benefits of being in a mall. Now they both have their hiccups though. American Dream splits the day into 2 blocks and busy days. That means you either have to buy an early afternoon time slot or a late evening time slot, so that can make it a bit difficult to ride everything in one day. Mall of America doesn't do the split day. However, they can have a rotating ride schedule on a less busy day. American Dream has had more rides closed each visit, but this probably is due to the newness. They do have an up-to-date closed rides list on the park website and at the admission booth. Meanwhile, Mall of America lists its refurbishment schedule online, and I have not seen a ride closed there that wasn't expected to be down for refurb. American Dream will probably do that when it's not as new, but for now I'm going to give a point to Mall of America because in general the rides there seem to have better reliability. Now let's talk about dispatches. In general, they seem to be far faster at the American Dream Nickelodeon Universe. You have faster ride ops, plus the American Dream version doesn't have to attach and scan the wristbands like the Mall of America version. This really slows down the lines at the Mall of America version. And because of this, you'll find less lines at the American Dream version of Nickelodeon Universe. For that reason, I'm going to award a point to the American Dream Mall. And so that makes the final score 9 to 6 in favor of the Mall of America version of Nickelodeon Universe. In general, the American Dream version is better for thrill rides, especially if you're a coaster lover. Sandy's Blasting Bronco and Shellraiser are 2 great roller coasters. Plus, the American Dream location tends to have less queue lines from what I've seen. But Mall of America excels in every other area. You have a more diverse ride lineup, plus the best overall ride in the log chute, and a much better appearance. I just love the woodsy feel of the park despite how you're indoors. I mean it as a compliment when I say that the Mall of America Nickelodeon Universe feels like an outdoor park. Plus, it's a much better value, whether it be with the cheaper wristband or all the different admission options. So those are my thoughts on the Nickelodeon Universe parks at the American Dream Mall and the Mall of America. Both parks are worth visiting, but I do prefer the Minnesota location. What are your thoughts on these parks? Have you been to either of them? I would love to hear your thoughts down in the comments. If you enjoyed this park battle, I'd appreciate if you gave this video a like and consider subscribing because there'll be a lot more roller coaster and amusement park videos here at Canopy Coaster. Thanks for watching.